So my name is Chelsea. I served with the Canadian Coast Guard for a little under 5 years. I really threw myself into my job. I really wanted to make it my lifetime career. I worked very hard and I tried to achieve as much as I could while I was there. You will then be placed on leave without pay. If you do not receive your first dose within the same 2-week period. Yeah, so that's it. It's over. So we sold our house downtown and we bought a farm way out in the country. So when we lived in the city, I wanted to turn my entire city lot into a permaculture garden. I achieved a lot of that. We had haskaps and all sorts of berries and apple tree and rhubarb, you name it. I planted it and tried to grow it there. That was our first house. So we had a really good realtor advising us. We knew that we could make some profit from the house that we had bought downtown. Originally when we had bought it, it was in a bad area, and we knew that that area was up and coming. And
bad area.
It was a bad area, bad for Nova Scotia, which is crazy, not bad at all. Because of that situation, we were able to purchase this farmhouse in the country, and now we're planning to fix this farmhouse up. Oh, look at that. That's got to get under there. Oops, come here, you Wolfie, I don't want to strip you. I'm not 100% happy, but it does work a bit. So today is Friday. So on Wednesday, I found out I'm going to be fired from my position because my vaccination exemption was denied. Prior to that, they said I would have to be tested every time I go into the office, and they said they were going to send me some tests. So I said, okay. This is before I knew my exemption was actually denied. So since then, a lot has transpired. My boss has been fighting super hard to get me to keep my job. So he's been meeting with high up people in Ottawa, trying to basically save me from being fired. So my firing is apparently being put on hold for a bit. He's at least slowed it down, so I don't know what the situation is now. But I just received my PCR tests in the mail. I've never actually seen what one looks like.
Wow. So wait, so like the solution is like you work remotely. You're not in physical contact with anyone else for your job at all.
Never.
You only work by yourself on a computer in literally the middle of nowhere forest, like it's the middle of nowhere.
Yep. And we're going to start a small hobby farm. And what direction the farm is going to go, we don't know yet. We're just going to try some things at first and see what takes.
Feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rafters. I had to sun these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes just...
Whoa, look at the stack of storm doors. It's like he goes through storm doors all the time.
Take a vitamin, yeah, invite him in. Welcome to the Lion's Den, and I'm Mufasa, big boss in charge of...
I really want to have a focus on sustainability in our farming. It's really important to me. It is, however, possible to make good investments into renewable energy. In fact, wind power is currently one of the cheapest sources of renewable energy. But NS Power is instead selling this wind power to Boston, as there is no means to store the abundance of wind energy that we're creating here in the province and in New Brunswick.
Confidence, yeah, it really shouldn't be no arguments, cause you're now viewing the greatest of all time.
When I worked at the Coast Guard, I was a project manager on the fuel management project, which was a project that was focused on using less fuel and being more efficient, therefore creating less pollution. So I was passionate about that project. It was a really challenging project, and I did everything I could to further that project forward. Up until today. And yeah.
And I'm on a big mission. My whole team got a plate up in the kitchen, yeah. I'm talking everything. I make all the fixings, yeah. They come a long way from where they come up missing. I blame it on my confidence, yeah. Promise I'm really this astonishing. And yeah, you're now viewing the greatest of all time. No need for thank yous. The pleasure is all mine. Get your no downplaying my accomplishments. You call me arrogant, I take it as a compliment. I got that confidence. Come on now.
I explored the land as soon as we got here in November, just to see where the ideal place would be to place a garden. What I discovered is the gentleman that lived here before us, or him and his wife, they had amended a garden area. So when I dug up the soil, I could already tell that it was really good. So that was where I started my garlic basically immediately as soon as we moved in. That area is just a small area, so I also dug up some ground in the middle of our driveway, and the soil there had also been amended previously, maybe a few years ago, and it didn't seem very rocky, so I wanted to put a garden there for perennials. And the third idea for a garden area is in front of our greenhouse. The soil there is questionable. It's rocky. You know, it's clay and sand, so I think we can work with it. It'll have to be amended. So my plan for amending was originally to use manure and seaweed, which is a common thing to use around here. But we ended up. Hi, buddy. Come here. Come here, buddy. He's our guard dog. It's okay. Everything's fine. So originally I was going to use manure and seaweed to amend the soil. I know there's a few farms around here, so I was going to approach them to get manure. But then we had a fisherman over at our house for dinner the other day, and his wife was saying that she uses all the entrails from the fish for fertilizer, which I know is really good for fertilizer, but I didn't think that there would be a connection for us to get that. But she told me that she has an unlimited amount of fish entrails from all of his fishing that he does. He's a lobster fisherman, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use fully everything from the ocean to amend the soil, so seaweed and fish will be our amendments. My daughter had some health problems a couple of years ago, and we started to realize that food is our medicine, and what you put in your body is what you become. So it's really important for me and for our family to have food that we know where it came from. We know there wasn't harsh chemicals used on it. We know that it's healthy. So that's always been really important to me. We don't intend to use any pesticides or herbicides or anything that would be bad for us or for other people. So that's really important to me. What's also really important is to just to be good stewards of our environment, to foster an environment that things can grow and flourish and not be just used up and thrown out. Everything working in a symbiotic relationship is how I want to grow food. So we will start off with some conventional farming just because the sustainable projects take a couple of years to build up. But we're still going to use sustainability in our farming practices when we're doing our annuals.
Saying, oh, is your world changing?
I had this idea. It wasn't an original idea, mind you. I got the idea online. I was thinking of starting a Christmas tree farm, and I came across these people in the US that were doing sustainable Christmas trees. So what they do is dig up a Christmas tree from its roots, pot the Christmas tree, deliver it to people for Christmas, and then after Christmas pick it up and replant it on the land. You know, we've never done anything like this, so it should be interesting. I'm sure there will be a lot of failures and hopefully some successes as we go along.
To bring joy to your day.